30-day Fruitarian challenge, and here to talk with you guys, share some of my insights and my experiences through this journey. All right, so I'm gonna allow some people to jump on, and otherwise, I'll just kind of talk about what my diets look like today. Um, Today, pretty basic. I had, let's see, 6 bananas, about a pound and a half, almost 2 pounds of grapes today. And then I had a smoothie, which consisted of my bananas, my leafy greens, frozen mango, right? So that's kind of my go-to. So very simple, very similar to what I've had earlier in this throughout this entire journey. But like this live is for you guys. So if you have any questions or anything, I'm here to talk. Like I said, I'm gonna go live every day of this 30-day challenge. Looking at it now with 7 days left, like we are absolutely at the home stretch of this thing. Just been kind of looking back and looking at, okay, so what has happened in these 3 weeks that I've been eating 100% fruitarian diet. Now, for those who don't know, I'm a majority fruitarian anyway, but I was slipping a little bit, so I challenged myself to do this to get myself back on track. And I feel good. I feel great doing it. I've lost I've lost a little bit over 8 pounds doing this, which is great. What's going on, King? How are you? What's good? What's good? So I lost, yeah, lost a little bit over 8 pounds. Feel a lot better. I could feel my body um, doing some healing. A lot of the things like, particularly in the joint area and the muscle area, I could feel those things healing with my body having this additional energy throughout this process. I had 2 moments where, I had some stomach issues, but that was mainly due to me incorporating eating things outside the house, so things I was not in control of. Sometimes you don't know if they throw seasoning and stuff like that, and you don't necessarily know everything they're using. You're kind of just going off the menu, and I think that messed with me a little bit. And your body becomes so much more aware when you are on a diet like this. What's going on? Shalom, child of Yanua. How are you? Thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. I love your tag name. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of where it's been at. Some really cool things have happened throughout this process. I've released the release date for my book, which is going to be January 28th, 2026, and it is available for pre-order now. That is in the description if you want to check that out. If you do that, you get it early, you get an autographed copy, and you get a behind the book audio exclusive podcast that goes deeper into each chapter of the book. So definitely check that out if you are interested in learning more about the detoxing of the mind, body, and soul, because that's truly what the book is about. And me, as a certified detoxification specialist, I share a lot, like my journey, as well as a lot of my philosophies and how they've helped me create a much happier and healthier life, right? What's going on, Zitler? How are you? Thank you for jumping on as well. The dog in a towel, man, these are some dope ass names. I love it. I love it. So I hope each one of you guys are doing well. And look, I'm here for Q&A as well. If you have any questions about the fruitarian diet, about, diet in general, what's healthy, what's not, how can I lose weight, how can I, heal different ailments, whatever the case may be. You want to talk about veganism, you want to talk about being a vegetarian, giving up meat, giving up processed foods, anything like that, we can talk. Someone said my name. Did you just dump in your, what's that mean? Interesting. It comes with an audiobook. I don't have an audiobook yet, but it will come. If you do pre-order, you will get an audio podcast, an exclusive podcast that you can listen to after each chapter, and it will go deeper into each chapter. So it's like an extended version of the book, basically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, check that out. It's really good because the book is laid out in a way that's a very simple read. I made it that way on purpose. I didn't want to expand too much on each concept within the book because that just makes things more confusing and it didn't flow right. So I wanted to make the book flow really easy for the reader. This audio podcast just kind of builds upon that. for sure. So definitely check that out. Um, what's going on, Harmonic Heartbeat? I am doing fantastic. How are you? How are you? Yeah, cats or dogs? That's a great question. I used to be a dog person my entire life. I didn't, I was conditioned to not like cats from my family. But then my wife wanted a cat, right? And we got a cat. Her name's Akasha. And man, changed my entire perspective. I would choose cats over dogs any day of the week. Not that I don't love dogs, but cats are where it's at, man. Cats, they're independent. They kind of do their own thing. When they want love, they'll come get it. When they don't, they leave. They don't bother you. Um, they meditate with you. They walk around at a totally different frequency than any other pet that I've or any other animal that I've ever been around, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Good harmonic heartbeat. I'm glad to hear that, man. I hope you're enjoying your Wednesday for sure. Cats are dogs, and I'm a wolf. Oh, interesting. Where am I from? Okay, well, originally I am from Cleveland, Ohio. Right now I live in Texas, but I was born and raised, up to a certain point, up to my teenage years in Cleveland, Ohio. So that's kind of embedded in me. That's where a lot of my family's from, but I've been in Texas ever since. Now, if you're talking about like from a culture standpoint, hereditary standpoint, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm also have some Mexican. I also have some Romani in my blood. So shout out. Which question, dog in the towel? My bad. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Let me know. Ask it again. For sure. I'm here to answer any questions that you guys got. So my bad. I can look back, dog in the towel. Let's see, what is it? What did you ask? Now I got a question for real. What's a good way to eat healthy for breakfast? Because I wake up early and don't have that much time to eat something. I mean, this morning I ate cake for breakfast. I need help. Okay. That's a good question. All right. So we have been conditioned to think that we need to eat when we first wake up. You need to train your body, get your body used to not eating when you first wake up. The only thing you should do when you wake up in the morning is drink water. That is it, right? And then you shouldn't start eating till roughly about noon. That is a tip. Doesn't mean you have to follow it, but there's a method behind that madness. That method is the fact that your body goes through different rhythms, different circadian rhythms, and it doesn't start to digest food until noon. So if you're eating before noon, you are adding a lot more burden in your body, and you are interrupting your body during the elimination process. That's the first thing. As far as what to eat, whether that if you decide to eat at noon, like I say, or in the morning, you always want to eat something that is going to, give you the energy and not bring you down. So fruit, by all means, fruit is the best thing to eat. If it's melon season, I always like to start my day with melons because they are the most energy efficient food on the planet, meaning they give you a high amount of energy and cause the least amount of burden because they digest faster than any food, anything. So that would be my suggestion for you. Cake, man, look, if you eat cake in the morning, like that refined sugar that you're eating and the fat that's associated with that is going to bog you down, probably give you some form of a headache if, you know, depending on, everybody's different there. But from a systemic standpoint, it is going to bog you down. Absolutely no doubt about that, right? Cake for breakfast is amazing. I'm sorry you feel that way, man. Um, but yeah, I would say fruit for sure. Have I ever been to an Eminem concert? No. I got a love-hate relationship with Eminem. I think he's a very talented individual. He's just not always my cup of tea. But shout out to anyone who likes Eminem because he's very skilled. Yeah, you eat fruit every morning. That's beautiful, right? That's beautiful, and you should definitely stick to that. Have a drink for breakfast, tea or a smoothie. Smoothies are good too. Like that's fruit at the end of the day, unless you're doing a vegetable smoothie, which to each his own. The thing about vegetables are, when you blend them or when you cook them, you are breaking that cellulose barrier, which is good. But at the end of the day, they don't provide as much energy and they cause a little bit more burden than fruits do. Fruits are the healthiest food on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to answer that about the N word. Come on, man. You're better than that. Okay, that makes sense. Thanks for letting me know. For sure. Who's my favorite rapper? Now, okay. My favorite rapper of all time is Cannabis. He's in, and for a myriad of different reasons. A myriad of different reasons. Number one, because nobody, in my opinion, puts as much effort into what they write than that man right there. And I have listened to albums that I used to listen to 20 years ago, and I will learn something new every time I listen to them. He's introduced me to concepts and philosophies that I actually have built today. So, huge shout out to Cannabis, Jermaine Williams, man. Hope you're doing good, brother. Who the heck is that? Ah, come on, harmonic heartbeat. Crazy theory and do some research. Cannabis was a monster on the microphone between 96 and '01, and then after that he switched his style to more philosophical. And he's a poet, man. At the end of the day, incredible artist. And no, Eminem did not smoke cannabis at all. He made one song called "Cannabis," I think, "Where Art Thou Cannabis," and that was very very weak. Um, yeah, he understand something. Eminem was a huge fan of cannabis, huge fan of cannabis, right? He looked up to cannabis, right? Now, obviously, Eminem had, worldwide fame and, went beyond anything cannabis ever became. But at the beginning, when it was prime versus prime, when they were at their best, Eminem looked up to cannabis. And I have more stories about that. If you want to hear, I'll share. Raw vegetables are hard to digest. I realize even salads can cause some problems. Yeah, so that goes back to the cellulose thing. Leafy greens are the one quote unquote vegetable that our body is designed to digest and utilize. And we need the leafy greens because they provide a lot more of the minerals that we need to build. But other vegetables, specifically, you know, not veggie fruits, actual vegetables are hard to digest because of the cellulose. We're not built to digest them. That's why they have to be cooked, right? To kind of break through that cellulose barrier. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Respect that. Yeah, so good questions, man. Man, I haven't been asked that one. I'm glad I got to talk about my man cannabis. I got a long history with him, for sure. So that's dope. That was back when I smoked cannabis, man, but it was tough because I was a fan of his, so it sucked to hand him his. Yeah, yeah. He didn't. That's the thing. I mean, he could talk about handing him his ass and all that stuff, but he never did. And he was a huge fan of his. And the story goes that Eminem wanted Cannabis to be on one of his songs. Like he went up to Cannabis at Cannabis's video shoot and wanted him to be on a song with him. But Cannabis was going through the LL beef, and he had heard that Eminem actually ghost wrote one of the disses against Cannabis. So Cannabis wasn't really like overly friendly with them, right? He was kind of being an asshole to be truthfully honest, which I don't agree with, but he just was. So he basically said, "Hey, let's get to know each other first before we start making music. I've heard some things, blase, blase, blase." Well, it wasn't true. Eminem never ghost wrote. So a year later, Cannabis goes back to Eminem. This is after Eminem started to gain fame, like a lot of fame, and asked Eminem to be on a song with him. But Eminem declined. He said he wasn't feeling the song. He didn't want to do anything with Cannabis. So that kind of upset Cannabis. And Cannabis kind of went at him a little bit on a couple subliminal disses, and that's what built the whole beef between them two. But there's really never been a battle. Like Eminem released that one song that was and Cannabis released a couple songs that were kind of and a couple subliminal disses. So it was never really a full-fledged battle. So I can't really say anybody won or lost. They both kind of done their own thing. Anyway, um, Bang Conway featuring Eminem. Just listen to Cannabis and now I'm a fan. Yeah, Cannabis is, man, you go back to some of his stuff, man, he is a monster. Like, depending on what type of music you like what type of hip hop. And his evolution from like just straight raw battle raps, like just hardcore lyrics, to more philosophical, that journey, if you're into that type of thing, is really fantastic, man. Because his lyrics are second to none. Like nobody writes like him. Nobody. Um, Eminem is different. Yeah, Eminem's a beast, and I'm not here to say that Eminem isn't one of the most talented people to ever rap. There's no doubt. It's based on preference. Like Eminem's a different animal. I mean, his evolution and the way he raps now versus how he used to rap and that stuff is, you know, it's something to marvel for sure. You know what I mean? So it's really, really what type of flavor you like at the end of the day. So, yeah, both of them are dope though for sure. I would have loved. There's a track out there. Here's a little nugget for you guys. There's a song out there that only one person I know actually has the rights to. That is Cannabis featuring Eminem, or it might be Eminem featuring Cannabis. I don't know, but they're on a track together that maybe three people in the world have ever heard, and they won't release it because Eminem does not want it to be released. I would love to hear that. I've never heard it either, but it's out there. What do you think about Mariah Carey Eminem beef? Harmonic Heartbeat. First off, I don't know the name of the song. I just know that it was about to be released by M80. I don't know, Matthew Markoff, who was an A&R for both Eminem and Cannabis, and our manager, I should say. And when he was about to release it, Eminem's camp, kind of kiboshed it and didn't allow it to be released. Mariah Carey Eminem beef, I think that's dumb. That's just you don't really air your. I don't think you as a rapper or even an artist, you don't air your personal stuff out there like that. So that's just my opinion, personally. Yeah, that's just me. And Mariah, she a diva. You know what I'm saying? So she's gonna do what she does. She is very upfront with her divaness. Oh man, I love this conversation though. Like people are gonna watch this and see it's titled Day 23 of the Fruitarian Diet and be like, and they're talking about Cannabis, Eminem, and Mariah Carey. What the hell did I just tune into? But the beauty of this is to let everybody know that anybody can do the fruitarian diet. Like, and when I say fruitarian diet, I'm talking fruits, leafy greens, nuts, and seeds as the gold standard. That means, am I saying you have to do that? No, what I'm saying is if you understand that that's the gold standard and get as close as you can to that or implement that into your diet, you are going to make gains. You are going to lose weight. You're going to get healthier. And the closer you get, the healthier you get. You know what I'm saying? Um, have you heard obsessed? Yes, of course. What's your opinion on eating a lot of raw, dried, and dehydrated foods? Okay, so okay, at the end of the day, you need calories, right? So sometimes things can get difficult if you're not getting enough calories, specifically if you're transitioning and starting to add more raw food into your diet. So dried fruit like is not going to give you the hydration obviously as regular fruit is, but they're still good to start building up calories. They're not much burden on the body at all, and they're great to just build up your day. You know what I'm saying? I usually have some form of dried fruit. Like I do dried mangoes a lot. 100% dried mangoes, no added sugar, no added anything, just straight dried mangoes. Dehydrated, same thing. And you could also make a lot of recipes with dried fruit too. So it just widens your array of different things that you can eat. Because look, when you're on this journey and you start eating more raw foods, things can get a little stagnant. Things can get a little bit boring, especially like for me, I'm a mono eater. So I like to eat my fruit by itself. Like I don't like to mix a lot. So I'll eat 7, 8 bananas and then that's it. That's a meal for me. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes adding dried fruit or adding some form of dehydrated fruit into some type of meal or something like that helps, helps definitely with the transition and helps with the calories. Because you can get, like, if you eat, say, for instance, figs or, dried mangoes or something like that, just like I think it's like half a cup of dried mango is You're getting almost 200 calories just right there. So if you eat two of those, you're at 400 calories. Like that's a pretty big jump for a small amount of food, and sometimes you need that, to fill your calories in because if you don't eat enough, this is a lot of things that people struggle with. If you don't eat enough and you start to lose mass, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not eating enough and people think it's because you're eating fruit. No, it's not because you're eating fruit, it's because you're not eating enough fruit. Like you can't compare one or two apples to being used to eating a plate of spaghetti and some garlic bread. You know what I mean? Like you have to match those calories. And depending on how sedentary you are or how much you work out or whatever the case may be, you need to match that. You need to, I always say, like, try to make your meals 500 to 600 calories each, depending on how many meals you eat. If you eat 3 meals a day, 600 calories a meal is going to get you to 1,800, right? I say 1,800 to 2,000 is kind of like the average of what you need, depending on how much energy you use throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, Harmonic Heartbeat, for sure. Thanks for reminding. Fruits and greens have to start doing that more now. You have to. I mean, look, at the end of the day, as we all grow and we're learning so much more about the human body, fruits and greens like are just incredibly important. Fruits are going to provide the hydration and the vitamins you need, and the greens are going to provide the minerals. Now, fruits have minerals too, and greens have vitamins too, but their specialty is in the other. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Mariah crossed the line in the music video? I mean, look, it's all fair game for what he was saying about her anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like he said some pretty rough things about her. So it's all fair game. He took the gloves off and she just responded. And that's how she operates. I heard a lot of dried fruits can hurt your teeth, but I guess it's good to just clean your teeth, especially after eating dates. If you're eating predominantly dry foods, they can, a real, like there's two foods that help with your teeth tremendously. It's going to be leafy greens, number one for the chewing aspect, but also the minerals. And then apples. Apples are nature's toothbrush. So if you have those implemented into your diet, your teeth are going to be in good shape. Unless you're eating a bunch of other junk too. But you should never be eating more dried fruit than like fresh fruit and whole fruit. You know what I'm saying? Never. It's got to be a snack, like a supplement, almost a supplement in a way, a caloric supplement. I've seen people have teeth problems from overeating dates. Dates are a heavy sugar food. It's natural sugar, don't get me wrong, but it's a heavy sugar food. Like when you eat them, like you can feel it, like how sweet they are. So, like I said, I wouldn't have a diet consisting of a lot of dates. Dates are something you eat as a snack periodically, right? Just like juicing, but I'd rather eat dates than juicing. It's better because at least it has the fiber element aspect in it. But yes, eating dates, like a lot of dates, yes, that I could totally see how they could give you teeth problems for sure. Hey, I'm the guy with flood. Remember? Oh, I do. What's going on, Just Flips? How are you, man? I hope everything's okay. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, I sent you guys some positive energy, man. I hope everything's good. Give us an update. Have you heard Lord Above Family Ties? I'm not sure I have heard that. Let's see. My friend Jamal went skinny dipping in a lake, got bit right on the BBC by some weird fish. Doctor says he's not allowed to bone or. Come on, man. Okay, that's great to hear, Just Flips, for sure. For sure. Definitely. Definitely. These are great questions, though, for sure. Especially the dried fruit ones, because a lot of people don't understand that. You want as much hydration in your foods as possible because the beauty of these fresh raw foods is the combination of everything. It's not one little thing, and like the media and the healthcare system and even these so-called nutritionists have tried to isolate these things out of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables or fresh leafy greens and try to sell you products that like extrapolate a few different things out of the complete package of the whole fruit. No, you need the whole package. It's like a combination to a lock. You can't just have a few different numbers. You need the entire combination in order to open it up. It's the same thing when you're eating. needs to be the whole raw element of it. And that's where you're going to get your best nutrition for sure. Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Just flips, man. I'm just day 23 here. You know, just loving life, man. Just loving life. I said it earlier. My book is available for pre-order. That's a big step for me. Like it took a lot to get to this point. So the link is in the description if any of you guys are interested. You know, you'll get the book before anybody else. It releases January 28th, and you'll also get a behind the book podcast, audio exclusive podcast that dives deeper into each chapter, and you get an autographed copy. So there's a few things there, but yeah, I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm doing real good. You must listen to Lord above a good song. I don't know what that means, man. Can you listen to it in real? Not right now, because I don't even know how I would do that. But hey, check this out. I'll check it out. What's it? Tell me the name of it again. I'll check it out, and then I'll talk about it tomorrow when I go live. Right? Um, Mike Rocker Walker 500. Yeah, send it this way, man. I appreciate you supporting the movement we got here. All right, that's big. You could shoot it to at @RL on Venmo if you like. What's the name of the book? The name of the book is Detox Yourself. Right here. Detox Yourself. The secrets of freeing your mind and creating a healthy life. All right. That's it right there. Put a lot into that one. Like I said, it's a real seamless read. You will enjoy it. You will learn something. It's not just a health book. It's about detoxing the mind, body, and soul for sure. Oh, what's up, Crazy Therian? Good to have you back, man. Oh yeah, thank you. I love this. I love the colors, man. Because that's what it's about. At the end of the day, we as humans, this is how you know what we're supposed to eat. We are attracted to colors naturally. That's our instinct to be attracted to colors. And what food in nature is the most colorful? It's fruit, right? And so things can be that easy. Like nature has the answer to everything we need, right? So what I need you guys to do is give me a thumbs up. I got one thumbs up right now. I got 6 people watching, a little bit more than 6 people watching, and one thumbs up. Come on, y'all. I need a little bit more love than that. Sure, you did work hard for that. I will check it out, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your knowledge to the world. You're a nice guy. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And thank you for joining me. You know what I'm saying? Spending time with me on this Wednesday evening. Um, but I love to talk to the people, man. It's a cool thing to ultimately share light. You know what I mean? Because like that's what we like. We're supposed to connect like that, and unfortunately, in society, we don't connect like this anymore. We need to be able to share our experiences and our knowledge and our thoughts and our philosophies, so we can all build off of that and make those necessary changes in our life to be better. Because if you're a better person, that's going to affect me. That's the butterfly effect. That's the ripple effect of nature. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I do this for sure. You know what I'm saying? So, what else y'all got? I know you guys got something else. What's that song again? What did you say? It's Lord Above Family Ties featuring Eminem. Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out, and I am going to give you a report tomorrow when I go live for sure. I'm always up for hearing a new song here and there. Little tidbit of information. I used to make music myself. In fact, a friend of mine just let me know that they got 2 days worth of studio time and asked me if I could go do some music with them. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town, so I won't be able to do that, but you may get something in the near future, right? If you want to check out something that I've done, you can search the song Voices. Um, by Music. That's MUSE-SIC. That's me in the first verse. And then there's another song by Music called Therapy that I'm also on. So check those out. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do listen to Lord Above and react. We'll be looking forward to that post. And also because people love seeing reactions since you haven't heard it, but it'd be fun. Yes, true that. I got to figure out a way to do that and be on here at the same time, especially on my phone, but I'll figure that out and we'll do it. Wow, man. Did you eat any fats today? Good question. Well, I did, because bananas, while they're not predominantly fat, like fruits have fat in them already. People think that there's no fat in fruit. There is. There's roughly somewhere between 3 to 5% fat in fruit if you're taking it on a macro level from carbs, protein, and and fats, right? Bananas have about close to 10%, right? So a little bit more. So that's where the majority of my fats come from. Otherwise, I will get my fats sometimes from nuts, seeds, avocados, sometimes peanut butter, nut butters, things of that nature. But pure nut butters, no salt added or anything like that. But that's where my fats usually come from. So today I did have a little bit of peanut butter. I also had the bananas, like I said. So that's where the majority of my fats came from today. But you don't want to get excessive with the fat. Like just like Dr. Graham in the 80-10-10 diet is kind of like what you want to base your diet on. 80% carbs, max 10% protein, max 10% fat. Unfortunately, as a society, we're at about 40 to 60% fat. And that's where a lot of these diseases stem from, the mixture of the overconsumption of protein and fat. The combination of those things together are deadly, just deadly, for a few different reasons. Number one, what happens is like when you eat a lot of protein, your body has to break those proteins down, right? And I'm talking, specifically like animal proteins here. Your body has to break those down, and it goes through a very strenuous process to do that. When you do that, you overwork the cells in your body. Well, the more you overwork the cells in your body, guess what? The more waste they have. Not to mention the acid forming aspect of the food you're eating in the first place. So now you have a body that is overconsumed with acidity. The problem is when you're eating fats in conjunction with those proteins, the fats clog up the elimination pathways. So not only is your body being riddled and overconsumed with acidity, the fat is clogging up your body's ability to get rid of those wastes, to get rid of those acids. So now they just continue to compile, and that's where different issues start to arise and different diseases start to be conjured up. Right. So, yeah. So be very careful with the fats, even fruit fats, right? Even the avocados, and also, fruitarian wise, even the nuts and the seeds. You want to eat those sparingly. All right. You definitely don't want to eat those all the time. Peanut butter for me is too addictive. Well, look, it just depends on what type of peanut butter you're eating. If you're eating, Peter Pan or Jif or something from your grocery store, make sure you're looking at what's in it, because a lot of the peanut butters, they'll have added oils or they'll have added salts and sometimes other things, right? But like the peanut butter we get is 100% just peanuts, and that's it, right? And and most of the time we'll actually make our own peanut butter, raw peanut butter. That's actually the best butter for you. But yes, it is addicting. But it's great, it's great for your, for calories and, for flavor and things of that nature. Just can't go overboard. That's all. I can easily go through a full chart in a couple of days, so I try to stay away from the nut butter. Yes, for sure. Yes, it is good. Yeah. My daughter has she's been eating a little bit too much peanut butter lately. I had to put her on a limit now to let her know that, yeah, because I'm teaching her about this too, and just let her know why. Like, look, you can't have that much peanut butter. I know it's good and whatnot, but you're going a little overboard. So for sure, yes, the nut butters can get addicting for sure. Yeah. Do you have like, is peanut butter your favorite, or do you like almond butter too? Because I like almond butter. Almond butter is good. Cashew butter, not as much, but peanut and almond are my two favorites for sure. And man, they go hard in a smoothie. Like peanut butter in a smoothie is serious for sure. For sure. What else going on, guys? What y'all got? I'll take a few more if we're a little stagnant like some clogged up arteries of fat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions is protein and protein. Obviously, number one. I'm sure everybody on here has heard that the protein myth, but also yeah, fat man, because so much information, so much misinformation out there about that. It's kind of crazy if you truly think about it. Because now the thing is, everybody thinks that carbs are bad, but our cells feed off of carbs. It's the complex carbs, right? But when we're talking about fruits, those are simple sugars. Those are the best fuel for the body. Let's see here. Definitely can clog you up with too much fats. I like almond butter too. With celery sticks or apples can be a good raw snack. Yes, yes, celery. And look, if you are anybody out there is craving anything like salty or starchy per se, like you crave those things, right? Because think about it, when you're eating cooked foods, everything is salted and seasoned, right? So when you start eating more raw, you're kind of addicted and you kind of have that nostalgic aspect of trying to implement though that feeling back in, right? And you sometimes you can't figure out how to do it when you're eating raw. Celery, man. Celery is great for that. It is great for when you're having those cravings for something salty. 100%. 100%. Because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Once you start implementing more raw foods and eating raw, um, the addictions of the things that you grow up eating, kick in. They kick in. But, the further you get along, the less those addictions and the less strength they have with you as well. Like your palate changes, your mindset changes, your energy changes and whatnot. Doesn't mean they don't creep in once in a while, but you're in a much better place to control those types of things for sure. But yeah. But yeah, you want to stay at that 80-10-10. That the 80-10-10 diet by Dr. Douglas Graham is a fantastic book. I would recommend everybody get it, just because it gives so much information and really helps people understand things from a macronutrient and micronutrient aspect. Mostly a macronutrient because the micronutrients. True. Look, when you're looking at the fruit and vegetable kingdom, like it's all there, right? You don't have to go anywhere outside of that to get everything you actually need. Yeah, I'm in way better shape than you. Just eat one meal per day. This shit's too complicated. You're in way better shape. Okay, hey, that's beautiful. Don't confuse physical shape with health, my friend. And I'm not saying you're not healthy, Mr. Smith. You might be like the healthiest person in the world. I don't know what your diet's like. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea. But do not confuse physical appearance with health because you can be skinny and unhealthy for sure. Remember, like getting skinny or getting fit does not mean you're getting healthy, but getting healthy means that you are getting in better shape. All right? Do not get those things mixed up. Everything. Okay. Well, um, expand on everything. Do you eat meat? Do you eat processed food? Do you eat starches? Do you eat mostly cooked food? That's the questions. Mostly cooked. Okay. Cool, man. And do you no frozen? Okay. Interesting, interesting. Okay. No raw meat. Well, that's good. But I will actually share something with you. Eating raw meat actually has more electromagnetic energy than eating cooked meat. A piece of cooked meat has zero electromagnetic energy and causes tremendous burden on your body during the digestive process. Tremendous. If you eat a piece of raw meat, there's a tiny bit of electromagnetic energy there. Still, the digesting part is not going to change, but at least you're getting something, right? At the end of the day. But like I said earlier, physical appearance does not equate to being healthy. So, Mr. Smith, you look to each his own. However you feel about your diet. I would say that if you're not implementing more raw foods, and by raw I mean non-cooked foods, into your diet, and by raw foods I mean fruits, leafy greens, um, then you're going to be on a path to being unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know where you are. Everybody has a different disposition, but if we're talking about where you are today versus where you'll be in 10 years, if you want to go more towards the life side versus the death side, or the healthy side versus the dis-ease side, you need to implement more raw foods. And by raw, I'm not talking about raw meat. I'm talking about raw, whole fruits, leafy greens into your diet. You will be on the wrong path, regardless of what your physical appearance looks like. All right. Steroids. Nah, man. Nah. Everything we talk about here is natural. It's about connecting with nature. And look, like I said, everybody is coming from a different place. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, you should subscribe for sure. Subscribe, hit that notification button, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you jumping on for sure. And King, very good point. Here's the thing about bodybuilders. Our body, the human body, is not meant to be a bodybuilder. The extra strain you put on the joints, the bones, and things of that nature is excessive. Not to mention, most people that are bodybuilders have serious kidney issues. It is absolutely destructive to the body to put it through what you need to put it through to get yourself to that point. We're not meant to be that way. All right. We're meant to have lean muscle, not big, bulky muscle. And yeah, the damage it does is unreal. Right. Oh, thank you, man. Why do they have kidney issues? Well, a few different reasons. Number one, their diet is usually consisting of excessive calories that are mostly protein and fat based and very dehydrating. So when you're adding all that additional burden to the body, you're eating a lot of those types of foods, your body has to go through serious burden just to digest it. And then the kidneys have to filter all of the excessive acidity that is built up from your body throughout the eating process and through the working out process. Because every time you move, your body is releasing what? Lactic acid. Well, your body has to eliminate that. And where does it eliminate that? Through the kidneys. So you are overworking the kidneys constantly, way more than a human should have to overwork. They break down, they fail. That's why, unfortunately, a lot of bodybuilders end up dying very, very early. What's up, bestie horse? Besties horses. I'm 13 and I get this. That's what's up. I appreciate you getting this. Give me a sub, give me a thumbs up. All right, too much protein can cause the kidney damage. Oh, snap, you actually know your stuff. Hey, man, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm the eat coach. I know my stuff. For sure. All meat and protein shakes all day. Yeah, yeah. Protein powders and muscle milk and this, that, and the other. Just focused on building, building, building. Understand, and this is the simplest way to understand what we're supposed to eat. Or actually, two ways. Number one, look to nature, look to animals that are similar to us physiologically. And number two, look at mother's breast milk. Mother's breast milk consists of mostly carbs, a little bit of fat, and not much protein at all. Why? Because that's what our body needs. And that is at the point in life where we are building the structure of our body. So that's where the fat part comes in. But if you look at that as a guide, you will know that, okay, then my diet needs to consist of mostly carbs and mostly natural carbs, not heavy proteins and not heavy fats, right? And that'll tell us everything we need to know. And if you look at us physiologically compared to nature, we are most comparable to gorillas. We're most comparable to the ape family. They are mostly frugivores, right? So it makes no sense for us not to go down a similar path. Now, people make the choice. They do what you do what you want to do. That is the thing about being human. We have a conscious choice. But if you're looking at it from a nature perspective, it just makes the most sense. You know what I'm saying? Is that concerning? Yeah, it's extremely concerning because now you have you have you have a society, a very sick society, right? And the sick society is being measured by other sick people. So all the markers that you hear about at the doctor and they measure you against are against other sick people. So it's hard for us to truly know where we're supposed to be because of what we're being compared to. You feel what I'm saying? Do you enjoy being black? If you could be white, would you? Why or why not? No judgment here. All love. Nostalgia holic. That's a weird question, man. First of all, I'm not into labels and stuff like that. Number one, I'm not black, I guess you would say, um, or white, and whatever. So yeah, we're gonna pass that one up. What do you think about eating chocolate on a raw diet? Um, think about eating chocolate on a raw diet. Well, I mean, chocolate is, if we're talking about from a health standpoint, it's not healthy. I mean, chocolate's not healthy for you. If you eat it in moderation, I mean, is it going to be just absolutely detrimental to you? No. You know what I'm saying? But it's not healthy. Like if we're it's very black and white as far as I should say. There's no gray area when it comes to health. It's either if it's not part of the fruitarian diet, the natural hygiene diet of fruits, leafy greens, nuts, and seeds, then it is technically not built for the human body. So anything that's not built for the human body is like foreign chemistry to the human body. Therefore, it's going to cause some form of burden to your body. So that would be considered not healthy. If you eat it in moderation, is it bad? No, I mean, incrementally, you know what I'm saying? Like you can clean yourself out of that if you have it once in a while. If you're having it all the time, definitely not a good thing. Not a good thing. And look, I love chocolate, so for sure. Since human teeth are rounded and not sharp, do you think we human are meant to be vegetarians based on the evolution process? That's a great question. And that's, I'm taking, even though I'm wearing a hat called Evolved, taking the evolution part out of it because physiologically, while there may have been some changes, uh, that is not one of them. From the beginning of time, we have always been frugivores. Our teeth, yes, they're frugivores. We're not herbivores, like you can tell. We're not hindgut fermenters. We don't have the flat teeth like herbivores do, right? And the jaws that move in the horizontal aspect. We are frugivores. So if you look at other frugivorous animals, their jaws and their teeth are very similar to ours. So yes, like we are meant to be frugivores, right? We're not meant to, definitely not meant to be carnivores. Like look at a carnivore's teeth. Not meant to be omnivores. We're not meant to be herbivores. We are meant to be frugivores. Good question though. Very good question. And like we just gotten so far away from that for so many different reasons. I mean, remember, we are tropical people at our root. That's where we started. The oldest human, like fossil or bones or whatever you want to call it, the oldest human ever recorded or found or whatnot is from Africa, a tropical area. Only through migration did we have to eat meat to survive because fruit doesn't grow year round in a lot of other climates. You know what I'm saying? So through migration, the human race had to eat to survive. We're not in survival consciousness anymore, people. We have a choice. There are grocery stores everywhere. There's fruit being imported everywhere. But we've just been so conditioned and generationally cursed to look at food in a different way. Now we got majority of the people eating meat. All right, let's see here. What we got? It's a good question. They say chocolate has some health benefits from the cacao. It originally comes from the fruit. But yeah, the way they make chocolate with all the sugars and additives is unhealthy. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you're eating chocolate, the closer to the original raw version, natural version is the best. But once again, it is like if you try to eat just raw cacao, like it's a little rough. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that you taste that is gives you that bitterness or something along that, that's your body telling you through your senses that this is not for me, right? If it has to be processed into something else in order for you to eat it, then that's another sign that this is not for, not built for your, the design of your body, right? That's easy things. When you eat something spicy and, your nose sweats or, you feel a certain kind of way, you get that feeling, even though we've been like conditioned and addicted to eating spicy things, like that is your body telling you that's not something you're not supposed to eat. So, that's how I'll answer to that on the cacao aspect. I mean, you eat raw 100% cacao, it's going to be very bitter, and it's not fit for human consumption. Granted, when it's processed and things like that, where it's more sweet, because that's what we as humans are attracted to, sweetness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, with all the sugars and the additives, it's ridiculous. I mean, you see the stuff they put in the candy nowadays, it's horrific. And what's crazy is in America, it's worse than anywhere else because you go to other countries and there's maybe a few different ingredients put in this candy, but what they do here, it's ridiculous. Not to mention the high fructose corn syrup, which is absolutely ridiculously horrible for you. Not to mention the red, the different chemicals they add to this shit, the food coloring and all that. Yeah, it's bad news. Very bad news. That's crazy. Never thought I would learn something on YouTube Lives. Look forward to the next. Well, I appreciate you, John, man. Thank you. Thank you for jumping on, man, for sure. And thank you for being open minded, too. That's a big thing. You know what I mean? When you open yourself up to different philosophies and different aspects, it helps us all grow. You know what I mean? Because I don't for 1 second think I know everything. Or, what I do is share my thoughts, my experiences, what I've learned, my philosophies, and I share them with confidence because it's what I've experienced and what I've actually applied into my life and seen results and have helped other people do the same. So, I'm going to share that light with all of you. You know what I mean? And you'll do the same, and then they'll do the same. And I always implore everybody to listen to every different perspective, so you can formulate your own philosophy, formulate your own journey to health. Because that's what it comes down to. It's going to come down to your conscious choice. Like, am I going to go this way? Am I going to go that way? It's based on, what you say. I have 4 or 5 mentors that I love and I listen to and I've learned from, but they're different. They have different philosophies too. And I've taken aspects of theirs to formulate my own. And I just implore all of you to do the same thing, for sure. You know what I mean? All right, guys. Any other questions? What we got? I love this part. This is good. Day 23. So tomorrow, day 24. Did go grocery shopping to re-up on the bananas. Bananas are the foundation of my diet. I eat a lot of bananas. Like, we'll be at the grocery store and they'll be like, what are you going to do with all those bananas? I'll be like, we're raising baby gorillas. We got Donkey Kong at the house. But this has been a good chat, guys. I really do appreciate it. I love jumping on here and sharing, just myself with all of you guys, some real good questions, even talking about hip hop. Yeah, I'm done eating for the day, man. I shut it down at the latest, and this is rare, but at the latest, I eat something at 8 p.m. That's at the latest. But usually I'm done around 6:37, something like that. Yeah. Because your body goes through these 3 phases. So from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., that's your body's digestion time. Your body is in digestion mode. That's the best time to eat, right? And then you go into assimilation mode. So from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m., your body is assimilating. It's moving the nutrients to each part of the body. It starts the healing process because your body's usually sleeping around those times and it's not utilizing much energy. So your body has even more energy to focus on healing. That's why most people get sick in the middle of the night. And then from 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. is elimination period. That's usually when you're getting rid of the waste. That's why you got to pee in the morning. That's why most people poop in the morning. So if you live by those 3 phases and shorten your eating window, you're going to be much more energy efficient and put yourself in a better position. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel better. So just some food for thought on that one. Any thoughts on tea? It's a great question. Now, tea is one of those things, once again, that is on the outside of the gold standard of health, right? So when I was talking about certain things are healthy or not or unhealthy, no gray area. Tea is not healthy. Now there's different types of tea, of course, but ultimately, if we're talking herbs or whatever, herbs are toxic to the body, plain and simple. Now, that's very debatable because there are a lot of naturopaths that live by herbs, right? That utilize herbs in their healing process, right? And I am open to that. I'm a huge Dr. Morse fan, a huge 𝐸𝐽𝐾 fan. Both of those guys use herbs, right? And the consciousness of the plant, I believe in that. I do, because there's consciousness in everything, and you know, plants were put on are from the earth for us. I totally believe that. But I would say tea is definitely on the non-healthy side. Now, if you are, I would advise somebody, if you are partaking in cannabis, to do tea over smoking it, because when you smoke it, you're adding different chemistry, you're adding smoke to the equation and some other things that cause harm to the body. Whereas the tea, it's a lot more gentle on the body. So, good question on the tea. The main thing about tea too, most teas have caffeine. Caffeine is absolutely poisonous for you as well. So that's another caveat to it. Yes, Yaki, for sure. For sure. Like I said, and look, anybody who's read the book, The Secret Life of Plants, would be open to the concept and philosophy of herbs healing you. You know what I'm saying? And I've read that book, and you know, I don't push herbs. I don't promote herbs. When I coach, I rarely go that route, even though I am certified to do so, because I feel like to get to the root cause of everything, it starts with the diet, and that's what I coach to, right? But like I said, I am open to it. If somebody did want to go that route, you know, I can go that route. So just one of those things. From a natural hygiene perspective, like a Dr. Douglas Graham, like a Herbert Shelton, TC Fry, herbs are 100% toxic for you. Like that's their philosophy. Like I say, I take all the philosophies and I kind of mold them into what I talk about. Herbs have been there used when you need them for healing. I know Dr. Morse talks a lot about herbs too. Yes, he is big on the herbs, and Dr. Morse is, man. I mean, I went to school at his International School of Arts. That's where I got certified. So I'm all about Dr. Morse, but like I said, you know, when I coach to the diet and I coach to the body to get to the root. But I am open to the herbs. I've actually done a couple videos on taking some herbs just because I wanted to try it out personally myself. But why is tea unhealthy? Because it takes away nutrients? No, because tea itself, what it's made of, is unhealthy. It's foreign chemistry to the body. So when your body absorbs it, it causes extra burden. Number one, in the digestive process, it's a diuretic. It's somewhat dehydrating as well. And like I said, if caffeine is a it's if it's got caffeine, like that is poisonous to the body. Caffeine is absolute poison. Caffeine is something that plants create to keep bugs away. If it's keeping other living things away, it should be kept away from you as well. Because even though bugs are much smaller than us, drinking in, as much as we consume like things like tea and coffee with caffeine, like it is slowly poisoning us from the inside. So yeah, tea is technically toxic for you, you know. But there are levels of toxicity, right? Like drinking tea versus drinking soda. You know what I mean? Two different ball games. Are they both on the toxic side? Yes, but one is worse than the other. Just like eating potatoes versus eating little Debbie cakes, right? There's different levels of toxicity there. You know, it's about balance at the end of the day. Yeah, so and look, some people live by tea and they love tea and whatnot. You know, this is just my personal thoughts on it and philosophies. But I think the main thing is the levels of toxicity. Understanding that there are some things that might be toxic to the body, but it's a minor burden versus things that are toxic to the body that, man, you should never touch that ever in your life. You know what I mean? Mostly only black teas and green tea have high caffeine. I wouldn't drink those that much. I think herbal teas with no caffeine is okay in moderation. Yeah, I could agree with that. I could just like chocolate, you know what I'm saying? Like just some of the other things. So, a lot of things are okay in moderation, because your body is going to be able to handle that and ultimately clean itself out. It's when you're drinking tea every day or multiple times a day or eating chocolate multiple times a day. Or it's just a part of your daily routine. Stuff like that, that's when it starts to build up and you'll start to see issues manifest within your body, you know? I'm a caffeine freak. Yeah, I hear you, man. That most of the world is, right? And it's getting worse with these energy drinks, which are just, poison in a can. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I mean, it's all about the balance, I mean, I always say, like, if you are eating majority raw, and you do some of these other things in moderation, you're going to be in good shape. Now, if you are dealing with major ailments, like, you know, you have serious dis-ease within your body, manifestations, whether that's, some type of chronic illness, or, maybe you've been diagnosed with some type of autoimmune issue or anything like that, or, heart problems, super high blood pressure, super high cholesterol, to where you're on what the medical system would diagnose you as on the brink of something catastrophic happening, then you need to pull back on those moderations and go as raw as you possibly can, because you need to free up the body as much as possible and accumulate as much energy as you can to allow your body to heal those issues. And if you don't, you're going to be on the path to something worse. So it's all like, it's all based on where you're at. You know what I mean? So I don't want people to think that, oh, I could eat a little bit raw and still eat some of the other junk and be okay. Yeah, it depends on where you're at. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you're either going one way or the other. You're going closer to death, or you're going, you're building on your life. So depending on what your body is telling you should allow you to understand what you need to do to prolong that life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, John King, man, appreciate you guys jumping on here and everybody who's jumped on here. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will be live tomorrow as well. I am going to shut it down, but I'll allow you guys to ask one more question if you have one more. And then, we'll shut it down for today and we'll be back tomorrow, Thursday night, day 24 of the 30-day Fruitarian Challenge. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and she was like, man, I was with you on day one, but man, I couldn't do it after that. Hey, that is totally okay. Thank you, sis, for even trying. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's about levels. It's about incremental steps towards where we want to get. You know what I mean? And shout out to her, because she's a hardcore vegetarian and she does her thing. So that's what's up. All right. Anything else? We're gonna shut it down. The link is in the description to pre-order my book if you want to learn how to detox yourself and create a healthy life by freeing up your mind. Definitely check that out. Otherwise, I will be back tomorrow. Man, John, hey, I'm here. I'm here for you guys, man. Appreciate you jumping on and like I said, being open-minded, man. All right. Y'all be good, everybody. I'm out of here.